Howdy do, everybody. This is ExtraNormal Podcast. My name is Chris. Alongside me is my wife, Brianna.
Howdy do.
I'm wearing kind of a Western shirt. Howdy do. I like that, actually, intro. That's kind of nice.
I don't.
You don't like it?
Hello, all to the people. We are also live on Instagram, so
We are
what's
live
up?
on Instagram. We are
Taking calls shortly.
we are taking calls. What's that number? Let's start out. I know people are up like, oh, you're giving out the number again.
If you guys want to call in right now and talk about extra normal things, call 626-733-8256.
626-733-8256. Call in. But today, our topic is radio voice. What's our topic today?
Stonehenge.
Stonehenge.
One of my all-time favorite places, and I have the biggest regrets because the one time I went to England with you.
Well, you went with England.
I went-
Your heart
oh.
was with England when you went.
Yeah, and it stays there. But yeah, that was the one thing on my bucket list that we did not get a chance to do. And you've been multiple times because you have like
Not to
plenty of family
Stonehenge.
over there, though.
England,
but
yeah, but
England
not to
in general.
Stonehenge.
But you have family over there, but you've never been there. I just can't even believe that.
Because it's like what? And it's not like, oh, Stonehenge. Blah. Like, it was one of those things where first time I went, I was like 20. So I was young and dumb. So I was trying to like get to like all that. What's the cool concerts to go to? Is what you say when you're not 20. I like that was like the thing. And isn't Stonehenge like 3 hours away from London? From wherever?
I want to say it was like an hour, maybe an hour and a half.
It was only an hour and I didn't go.
Because I remember
Too far.
when I had that opportunity to go for one of my clients that was getting married, I like map quested that shit because I was like, this time around I'm gonna go, but we still
In
never
London?
went. Because they were gonna get married in London, so
Fuck.
So
Can you imagine the fucking gall of when I was younger that I would go to Hollywood, California, which was like an hour away from where I lived, and had no problem with that, and went to some dumb club and
but didn't make time for Stonehenge.
did not make. I'm sorry, Stonehenge. If I go, do you think it's gonna take revenge on me?
Well, I don't know if you remember, but one of your close friends from the past, Tanner, he had gone, and I remember he did say mystical things had happened there. He felt energy, but he also did a lot of drugs.
Yeah, he
so.
did a lot of drugs.
But I have heard that, and I think
I
just
mean-
the history in it alone, it's said to be in the range of 5,000 to 4,000 years old.
Yeah.
So that in itself, like the history, the feeling of just all the different people that had passed through.
And for Tanner's sake, the idea, there's like a certain thought, and I might have this thought too, that like certain drugs might, you're going to see
Open.
stuff. They might open up certain gates.
I
I don't know.
have a feeling because I feel
Who
like
knows when you're
almost
on drugs?
every person I know that's done like, let's say, more heavier drugs but has never become a quote unquote drug addict, I definitely feel like they're way more open minded and they're very intelligent and they're able to tap into this other side, which I think is like
Yeah,
pretty amazing.
there's definitely some smart people who have done some fun drugs,
But what if the drugs made them smarter? I know they always say it kills brain cells and all that, but what if it did open a side of their brain and then it stayed open?
Well, I know that there's plenty of people who have done drugs who have like become more creative. Like a lot of creative types do drugs, and I think the issue is not only is our drugs, kids. Let's talk about drugs and concerts. I think drugs are obviously, a lot of them by nature are very addictive. Like they're fun and they can be addictive, and so
I'm too much of a control freak. Everybody that knows me, other people on the live, they're like I'm like I like the fact of drinking because there's a point of non-return, but you have that choice. With drugs, every time you do them, your body handles it way differently, and with the source of where it came from, if it's laced, and I just
I've done
that
a
chance.
few different things, and I would say for
a few different things.
For mushrooms, like this is drug talk, kids. For mushrooms, I felt like I could actually control the experience a little better maybe sometimes. Then some of my experiences with alcohol.
One of my
not
clients
all,
was talking. It's probably because I was like really hungry. But one of my clients the other day was talking about chocolate mushrooms, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't even like mushrooms, but that sounds so fucking
Just
good."
for the chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They taste. We used to bury it in Rice Krispie treats because it tastes fucking bitter. Like it's nasty.
It's like a dehydrated mushroom, right?
Yeah, it looks
Which
like
I
almost
would probably like better because I don't like regular mushrooms.
Yeah, it looks like the peppers you get in some of the packaging where it's like super dried up.
See, I feel like that would be dangerous to me because that sounds really good. And then you add that chocolate.
It doesn't taste good.
Well, you add that chocolate, and I mean,
it would just helps it go down
probably
easier.
just like melts in your mouth.
It's like edibles. Like they like if like now they're better about it, but like if it tastes like weed, like I'm not about it. Like,
yeah, I mean, you get a little bit of an aftertaste, but
you always do. Even the best edibles, it's like, well, there's a little bit of dirt taste in this bad boy.
Except for the Jolly Ranchers. Like I feel like those Jolly Ranchers. Have you ever had those edibles? They legit taste like Jolly Ranchers.
Legit taste like Jolly Ranchers. So, anyways, back to Stonehenge. So they said it was made about 3,000, 5,000 years ago. Is that what they're saying? They're saying
in between
the people,
like 4,000 to 5,000. I've heard a couple different sources, and yeah, there's a bunch of different theories, and I think it's really up to us to decide, and that's why I would like you guys to call in so we can discuss what your theory and who was the builder of Stonehenge, who created, who built the foundation. That's some good solid bones that they built there because it's still standing, you know?
Yeah.
So it's for me, like, yeah. And how did those stones get there? Again,
how did they get there?
Like, we always hear that these civilizations before us were, you know, not as equipped, but, you know, as we're finding out and learning more through science, they really were.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that there's some mysticism because the blue stones that is so when everybody thinks about Stonehenge, they think about the big rocks, right? The big old rocks. But there is within it and around it, there's these things called blue stones that were actually from Wales, which is about 150 miles away from where Stonehenge is.
And there's lots of theories.
They're not as big as, they're still heavy as fuck. Like you're not gonna. It's not like, oh, this person can.
I heard a cool theory how they.
Did you hear a cool theory?
The only, cause you know me, I'm like, oh yeah, aliens helped them. Like,
oh yeah,
I go right to that. I mean, of course. But if humans were strong or smart, not even strong, they would have done it during, like, when it had been raining a lot and if it was icy from snow, because there are theories that they use it almost like sleds, like down the ice, and that's how they got it from one point to the other. Because I feel like where Wales is, it's kind of elevated, right? So they can have it sliding down this big slope and hill. But why?
Did you say big slope and hill?
Yeah.
That's my favorite Dolly Parton song.
So I feel like that in one theory, I could say, okay, well, men got it there. But then how did they get the precision and the sizing of each one of them? How did they get them elevated, lifted to the right spot? And why exactly right where it is? Is it somewhere on the equator where it's warmer? Because you see with like the pyramids and other like the
I'm gonna sound stupid, but do you think
wouldn't be the first time?
Wouldn't be the first time in the last hour. Do you think that was there, like, during these times, was there the equivalent of like a ancient Home Depot where like there was a tool guy?
I feel like it would be like more like a warlock or a witch where you would have to go get some special.
Oh my God. If
tools.
If Home Depot representatives were all the warlocks and witches, I would go to Home Depot so much more. That'd be so fun, especially if they hammed it up. If they were like, not only, because I know that there's legitimate or people who believe in practice and all that stuff.
Right terminology, please. Don't be offensive.
Practice, believe. Well, if you practice,
because witchcraft is making a big comeback. Not that it like died out, but people are finally speaking up about it and they're owning it, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, but what if they lived it up? Like they're like, yeah, we're witches and warlocks and stuff like that, but we really want to have a little fun at Home Depot, and they dress like Merlins and Hocus Pocus and shit like that. That'd be so much fun.
That'd be awesome.
Can we have like a warlock
We've
witch
had
owned?
so many great ideas on this show. I wonder how many people are trying to steal
So many
ideas.
great ideas for shitty businesses. A self-owned. That sounds like it's from Portlandia, like a self-owned warlock store. Let's do it, everybody.
Anyways, my big thing reverting back to the subject at hand. Stop fucking slurping. And he has his fucking McDonald's cup.
Yep.
Maybe McDonald's can pay you
The
for
Illuminati.
advertisement.
They're not going to pay me.
They don't need you.
They don't need to.
But like
They got, like,
there's
celebrities, like-
there's a lot of theories like
I'm assuming LeBron James.
was Stonehenge used for a church for that type of purpose?
Wasn't it? Like it was like
A temple.
there's a lot of dead bodies. I know that much. They found a lot of dead bodies.
Well.
I got a question for you. Tangent. Side.
I keep
Side
trying to
quest.
go back, everybody. and he
Now that we're
keeps-
talking about witches, we're going to do a little side quest. If you could get buried, so we're talking about Stonehenge and how many people are buried there. If you could get buried anywhere on Earth, not obviously, don't say a cemetery because that's boring, vanilla. If you could get buried anywhere on Earth, where would you get buried?
Oh.
Mm.
Well, I'm just going to pretend that would be allowed.
Don't say under the corn dog stand at Disneyland because that's my answer.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay, I'm just saying that's my answer.
As much as I love
corn
Disney,
dogs.
no. I'm going straight to Egypt.
Okay.
And I'm going to be buried with the pharaohs.
Okay.
Yep. That's where I would be
You wouldn't be buried like at Camp Snoopy in Knott's Berry Farm? Local reference?
And definitely not the Luxor in Vegas either. I'm talking like...
How many people do you think have died of suspicious activity? Now, I don't want if you've had a heart attack because you had too many
suspicious
times.
activity was what?
Okay, hold on. I got a question. Please. I got so many questions. And if you have if you have an idea of where you would like to be buried anywhere on Earth, it could be anywhere. It could be, you could even say Atlantis. Let's say that is floating out there.
We don't even know where that is exactly. Or if you know where that is.
If you
call
know
in.
where Atlantis is, call into 626-733-8256.
That was too fast. What if they're
6?
trying to dial right at this very second?
6 2
You can go a little faster.
6-733-8256 if you want to tell us where you'd like to be buried. And I think we're going to keep that topic hanging over to when we record at a reasonable hour, everybody, and we give reasonable notice. But
Yeah, well, you didn't even ask me why Egypt. You just are making assumptions that.
you didn't ask me why I wanted to be buried in a corn dog stand.
Culture.
It's because I like corn dogs.
No, because I feel like in another life, maybe a parallel universe, that I lived. I'm not saying that I was Egyptian, but
So why Egypt, Brianna?
Oh, fuck you! I'm already explaining it.
Oh.
I feel like in a past life that I lived in Egypt. And, you know, a lot of, I don't know if it's because of my Italian descent with the Romans always coming through and the Greeks. But I feel like there's something, and the way that I tapped into, like, realization with that was when I started belly dancing. When I started taking belly dancing classes, the way that the dance made me feel, it was like it elevated me and took me to the Middle East. It took me to a different place.
And the way the dance made me feel, wowie.
Yeah, he used to make me come home and show him what I learned.
Well,
in class.
I needed to judge.
Anyways, but it made me feel beautiful.
how
It wasn't.
what your progress was like.
Didn't feel. I wasn't sexual when I felt it when I was performing. I felt beautiful, but it made me. It took me somewhere else, and then I would have dreams about dancing in Egypt. And
What if you got buried in Egypt under a tomb, and the Egyptians' tales of the afterlife is true, but
they are true tales.
every afterlife tale is a tale untold because we don't know. That it was true But the afterlife is just a Luxor in the sky. Like I'm talking about Las Vegas Luxor in the sky. And you were just sitting in a casino. That wouldn't be too bad, right?
No.
Yeah. They had that roller coaster, right? That'd be fun.
You know, it says, like, biblically in the Bible that, like, when we do, like, ascend, there's, like, a mosquito. Sorry. Not going crazy. I mean, a little crazy, but. Oh, my God. It almost went in my mouth. Oh, I still didn't get it. They say that, like, biblically in the Bible, it says, like, when you die and there's going to be a period when, you know, in the apocalypse, when Jesus comes and takes us all, that you're going to be at a feast and you're eating for like days. And I'm just like, ooh, like what's going to be there? Is it going to be like Shakey's buffet? Like, because I would be down.
You'd be so miserable at Shakey's.
As long as they kept those vegetarian pizzas coming out, because they were slow. And everybody else, it's typical thing. You invite the one vegetarian and all the carnivores go for the cheese pizza.
How you feel about Shakey's? Let's get into fuck Stonehenge. It's a bunch of rocks in a circle.
Oh no!
I'm kidding.
So much
I'm kidding. Listen. It's part of my heritage. I guess I should be prouder of it. Wow! Yay Stonehenge.
Really not, because I was
still a bunch of rocks in a circle. That might have some mystical energy of some sort, or something. What was I gonna say?
Goodbye. That's what
you were gonna say. Well, goodbye, everybody. This has been lovely. This has been a shorter episode because
he was going to say, call us at 626-733.
Was I gonna say that?
8256. Okay, so I kind of want to get into like some of the theories of.
Let's get into the fun of Stonehenge. History, blah blah blah. Let's get into. Well, one of the things is that they apparently the English for a while thought that Merlin built Stonehenge. Did you hear that?
No.
Yeah, Merlin, which is fun.
I mean, he was real, so.
Was he? What do you mean? How do you know?
Call 626-733-8256 if you wonder why I'm still married.
Was Merlin real? Was he a real guy?
Yeah, there's stories of Merlin.
There's stories of Merlin. I know there's like King Arthur, and then there's like the real King Arthur. Well, the real King Arthur.
I guess it has to be what you believe, because I believe.
I want to believe in Merlin more than you see those shirts that say like with the UFO that says I want to believe.
Yes.
I want to believe in Merlin more than I want to believe in UFOs, because that's fun.
Anyways, candidates
the real
for making or building Stonehenge. So
Merlin.
First of all, when I was doing my research, they say the first Britons of the last ice age were primitive hunters and gatherers.
This sounds like a book report.
So for you, like, would you believe that these primitive, like when I
would
think
you believe that
I think
these
that's
guys?
more like caveman status, and I'm like thinking like, but I know it's gonna sound fucked up because this is our ancestors, but especially yours because they're in your region. So I feel like. I don't think they'd be smart enough even to like let those big stones fall down on the ice, like slide it down the mountain.
Can we talk about how not
they're like hillbilly? They're like the equivalent to hillbillies today.
I don't give a shit about it being my heritage, because who cares? Like, I'm not, it doesn't matter. But you don't give any ancients credit. You think they were all dumbbells?
That's not true.
You're insinuating. I think you're insinuating that
they had help.
Oh God.
I mean, when you look at biblically, look at Moses. He had help from God. God is above. He created this world, but he's not of this world. He's an extraterrestrial. So, so was Jesus. If you're looking at it, Jesus was a hybrid, right? Because he was half human and half God. So, like, he came down, he healed people, he helped people.
But
one of the Egyptians, their gods, their pharaohs that they believed in were some kind of either hybrid, or they came down to help, or they were fallen angels.
What do I have to do with Stonehenge?
Then maybe these primitive people, don't get offended because I know it's,
I don't care.
Your
they were
people.
way back in the day.
Maybe there was these fallen angels that came down. Were like, damn, dude, these hillbilly Joe over here from 4,000 years ago.
And
They
weren't
need some
hillbilly
help,
Joe.
like, you know? They need to learn how to walk on two
Okay.
legs.
You don't give any of these ancients credits. Do you believe
I
in?
do.
Okay. Do you think that
the Romans? I'll definitely give them
Oh
credit.
God! See, this is you're poking your own holes in your logic. They all got help except for the Romans because they were amazing.
No, they weren't amazing. They were very
But
evil.
you don't
and
think
incest.
So you think Egyptians got help? You think the Mayans got help? I'm guessing. Just don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you think you think the ancient pagans had help regarding Stonehenge?
You have to remember, I believe we all are not of this world.
I mean, I think you're out of this world, but that's not. That's why I married you. There you go.
Good thing I'm not wearing a mask.
Good thing I'm not wearing a bra.
Me either.
I need one. Hey-o.
No, I feel like we all got help, and we once weren't even of this earth anyways. So our ancient ancestors settled here. And I feel like there was at some point helpers. And then at some point, I don't know if the helpers are just like, damn, these humans are fucking dumb. We're leaving. They could figure it out themselves. Which, considering, I feel like
you think that these fucking aliens, came and showed up?
Why do you have to say fucking aliens? That's rude.
Because they sound like dicks the way you're describing. Because they showed up, they put some rocks in a pyramid shape, and they're like, "Oh, this is too much work. We're out of here."
No, it wasn't.
Why are aliens like
it's the
loose
humans
teenagers?
Because I'm sure they were upset. Like if you look in
But aliens are supposed to be above that. They're supposed to be on that.
No, because
Come
the
on,
humans
aliens, don't
are
be
messing
dicks.
up the earth and not taking pride in the earth.
Mm-hmm.
So they probably left because they're like, these people are gonna just like self-destruct.
Aliens, you heard it here. Brianna thinks
star people.
Aliens are flakes.
Star people.
That they start a project and they never finish it. Except for getting here, they did that, but then they're like, fuck this, we're leaving. This was our pet project. Do you think the aliens who helped the pyramids and stuff were like?
There's so many stories like the Anunnaki, like.
But do you think the aliens who came here were like weekend warriors? Like they had their jobs on Nabu Nabu, like they were doing.
Nabu Nabu again.
They were mineral miners or something like that, and on the weekend they came and like during our ancient period they came and build pyramids and stuff like that. And then they just gave up because they didn't have enough time. There's too much shit going on. Like little Bork had too many alien soccer practices.
Okay, I'm moving on to.
I think maybe.
So our next candidates for building Stonehenge.
Here's another fake one.
Then came waves of settlers and invaders.
I thought you said waves build them. I was like, that is fun.
Yeah,
that's almost as fun as wizards. Little waves.
the waves brought the mountains the stones and just placed them. It was a flood.
You just watched Frozen today. That's why you came up with that one.
So there became a waves of European invaders. So there's potential that possibility that they were the ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then as most people know with Stonehenge, or if you don't know, now you know. The Druids, they were Celtic priests. And they came and they, to this day, this is the one reason why I am more leaning towards them, because to this day on summer solstice, they still come and they still worship, and they do their whole ceremony there. Because on
can we talk about that?
Summer solstice, yeah, they're celebrating the sun, because I guess it's like the hottest.
It's the sun at its peak, essentially.
Yeah. And then I guess before there was a sun here, they worship the moon, which is awesome.
Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Because we watched a video of that, of Poor Man's Burning Man. It was just...
It looked cool. I would love to join.
It looked fun.
Could you imagine being there? Like, I would love to be a part of that, going to Stonehenge for the first time in this beautiful festival where people are worshiping and just, they look like so much happiness and love.
Yeah, I think it'd be a blast. I would want to go to that. And there was so the stories that we saw is there's kind of a mix now of like people who consider themselves pagans and people who consider themselves druids and stuff like that who follow this religion. So people are still practicing in whatever ways they can garner. Because I mean, I'm sure that they don't know exactly how it was practiced back in the day.
Right.
But there's also like a party element where people just go to like hit bongos, like like literally like.
God.
And we watched the video, and my favorite part of that video is apparently there was someone who was, not even someone, a group of people who were protesting because they started charging for parking.
That's great.
And they were like saying no pay to pray.
Oh my God.
So that was fun.
So, what kind of wiped the Druids out from the area, which we know with like a lot of pagans, which I feel really bad about, especially being Italian, the Romans. So the Roman Empire kind of took over and wiped them out around 2,000 years ago. And so that's also a speculation because, you know, the Romans, when you think of Rome and ancient Rome and how all these monuments are still strong and still look gorgeous and beautiful. So
they didn't build it. The Romans didn't build it.
But that's one of the theories.
They built all their shit on the south side.
He protecting his people right now.
No.
Not those Italians. They didn't do that. They didn't do that to my English people.
No,
they didn't do that.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
The English were so smart. They couldn't have done that. Those Italians couldn't have done that.
Well, the Italians got help from aliens.
You got really defensive right now.
No, I just don't think they did. I think the Italian structures were more advanced than Stonehenge. Mm-hmm. How is that not a fair argument? Any kind of criticism is like, oh my God. No, I think the Italians had more sophisticated architecture than the Druids, but that didn't mean that they.
Well, I would like to know your guys' opinion.
Oh no,
because it's very mysterious, and I mean, when you do think of the Roman Empire, it's like, damn. But
so
agreeing with you this much, the only reason why, because of science, because ancient Rome took over what they knew as what the world was back then, was like 2,000 years ago, and Stonehenge.
Ancient Romans weren't smart enough to build that shit.
Stonehenge was built.
All of a sudden, ancient aliens is not true.
Earlier, to like, I want to say like 2,000 to 3,000 years earlier.
Favorite.
See, look, see what he's doing? See what he's doing?
No, I just love the fact that
fucking racist.
I love the fact that you're like everybody had help except for the Romans. That is my favorite theory.
Let's just agree.
That's my favorite.
Let's agree to disagree, and let's just agree that
Romans
the Brits are so prideful, just like
for all the wrong reasons,
just like the Italians were. So it's obvious. You're getting all.
I don't know. I think the Brits were no. I'm just saying I don't think that the Romans helped because it was just they came too late.
I also.
That's what I'm saying. And like again, I said the Romans had more sophisticated architecture.
Anyways,
so
I want to get into your opinion on who do you like? Whose human remains?
Oh my God.
Whose human remains do you think were buried underneath? Do you think that the Druids? From all
over, right? It was.
Well, no. Do you think the Druids are like the pagans that are known to do human sacrifices? Do you think that is potentially?
Potentially, I don't know.
Or was it like Roman? Like, because even when we were in London, I remember going to the abbeys there, which is churches, the Catholic churches there, and you basically are walking inside the cathedral churches. You're walking on people's tombs. They buried people inside the churches. So, I mean, was that maybe something brought down that they kept going? Because it's kind of weird, right? That like.
Wait, hold on. I lost the thread here.
Don't you remember when we went to? I thought it was like wild, in some of the cathedral churches. Because that was my big thing too when I went to England for the first time. I wanted to go to all the churches and just see the architecture. Because here in America, it's so, we're babies compared to them. So going over there, feeling the history and. I feel like even praying, meditating inside those abbeys was like so much more powerful. But I remember in a couple of them that were really old, on like under the ground, it was people's tombs, and it said names, and you were walking along them. It wasn't down
I
the.
think that was just people who died. I don't know if that was
I think it
because
was
by
like
that
priests.
time
It was priests. It was
yeah, by that time,
significant
I'm
people.
sure around that
So
area they had.
the reason why I brought that up, because I'm wondering if you think the human remains underneath there were maybe the Celtic priests, or were they the human sacrifices that they did in their rituals, or was it that part of the people that built it? Because like in the Great Wall of China, like people working actually got.
Yeah, because that was
There's
a
people in the
monumental
walls.
task. That was.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, when you look at Stonehenge, it's
Wait, do you think that China got help in building the Great Wall?
I believe that there's lots of stories that there's like dragons and things like that. So I think that people misinterpreted dragons, and they were actually
Did they get
UFOs.
help building the Great Wall?
They were a type of UFOs, because they said
Answer the
that
question,
fire
ma'am.
would come through it. So possibly. Anyways, what is your opinion?
And Rome. What's my opinion?
Yeah. Like, who do you think was buried?
I think it was just a
Who do
bunch of
you think was buried?
dead Christians, right? Right?
Dead Christians.
Yeah, in the church,
Oh, like
Yeah.
you're talking about like Celtic?
in the
Or-
Abbey. Isn't the Abbey? I'm
No,
completely
I'm
lost.
saying, who do you think died in Stonehenge? Like
This
those
is the
human.
first time I've been sober on
those
on these
human
episodes
remains.
in like a month.
Who
and
do you
I'm
think
feeling it.
Who do you think those human remains were? The reason why
In the Abbeys, I think it was a bunch of dead early Christians.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
What's happening?
I was referring to the churches as a reference to give an idea. So was it something the same way in Stonehenge, where they buried their priests there because they did that in the abbeys in London?
There you go. That's a better explanation.
I
did
said
it.
that. You weren't paying attention.
Oh my God. You okay? Can you sit down?
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think.
So who do you think?
I don't know. All that long-winded. I don't fucking know. It's a bunch of dead people. Yeah, I think it was probably the well-to-do. Some priests obviously had a lot of sway, so they would get primo spots too, because they were priests. A lot of times, religious figures throughout history have had a certain social prominence, so they would get buried there, and wealthy people from all over would get buried there.
Yeah. Well, me, if I was a Celtic priest, I don't know, were girls allowed to be? I don't know. Probably not.
Well, they say that no, they say that about half of the people buried in Stonehenge, the remains at least they found, are half are female, half are male. So it's pretty
Equal.
Pretty equal.
I would say that it probably.
Which is impressive. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of got down the wayward path. Like,
I would want to, if I was a priest, definitely, I would want to be buried there under those ancient ruins for sure.
What, are you talking about a priest or like a druid?
Well, like Druid, but they have
the
their
equivalent of-
Celtic priests, so
The-
maybe
I think,
if
what is the name? Let's find out. What is the name for a Celtic priest? Is it a druid? We'll find
they
out.
are they call themselves the Druids.
The druids. I'm going to look it up right now. Word for
The Druids were Celtic priests.
pagan priest. It might be just priest. Paganism. Clergy.
Oh, well, yeah. That's why.
No, it's just saying what the clergy is. I don't know. Anyways, moving on. Who cares?
But yeah, the Druids
Who
were
the fuck cares?
Celtic priests. The real question is if they were if females were allowed to be,
Maybe. I don't know. I know plenty of females were buried.
or if they used a lot of the females just for the sacrifices. You never know. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, and we can get into this as like totally like a crazy wormhole, other like conspiracy theory going towards it that I haven't really read anywhere, but to me it makes sense. We're talking about the like Knights Templar. So because one of my clients actually was like educating me on this stuff, because I guess her family is it derives? Is that the right word?
Sure.
Derives from the Masons.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying basically the Masons and what's the other the radicals that are coming up nowadays.
I don't know.
The what are you doing?
We're doing it. This is all.
Lord have mercy.
We're figuring this out as we go.
What's the radicals that are out right now? They like have their own. They're trying to create their own society with all the with all the crazy.
Portland. I don't know.
Yeah. No. What are they called? What are they called?
You're getting feedback. That's why I'm taking it away. You hear that sound? What are you talking about? What
The radicals that are they're like all the conspiracy saying they're the ones behind the riots and all that stuff.
Oh, please don't get into QAnon stuff. Please,
No.
God, don't say Antifa.
What's the name of the radical? And there.
Oh God.
So
have you been watching Fox News lately?
No, supposedly.
Oh my God.
No, supposedly Antifa.
Girl, you got to get it out of South OC.
Christopher, supposedly Antifa's been around for thousands of years, just like the Knights Templar, and just like the Freemasons. And I guess like all three of them, like have kind of, they're like the main people,
She's
and everybody derives from them.
She's been watching Fox News.
I'm talking about the Knights Templar.
You know where that comes from, the Antifa stuff, though. Anyways.
No, but I didn't know that they were around for thousands of years.
I don't know if they were around for thousands. That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
I don't know. Well, anyway, this whole thing is
this
is why I'm talking to you. Like, because I want to get like an opinion, or any of you guys call 626-733-8256 if you guys have any opinions. Because to me it's just all fascinating. It's all interesting, and if the Knights Templar were around, and the Freemasons, were they the ones who built Stonehenge? It's a thought. I'm
so it looks
throwing
like
stuff
World War
out
II
there.
was when Antifa was apparently
Origin.
formed. Yeah.
I wonder if they originated prior to that, or maybe were part of the Masons and then broke off.
Antifa's not. Antifa's a bunch of like hippie dippies. Like it's like a handful of hippie dippies. Like it's not really an organization.
I don't really know that much because I don't. You know me. I don't really want to.
Yeah. No. I don't. Stuff. I don't know about.
But
anyways.
But yeah. So I don't know. I'm just thinking about all the different, like around that time, and you hear about the Freemasons and you hear about the Knights Templar. Like, did they have some hand in building Stonehenge? It's a possibility.
Maybe. Weren't they around after?
Templar?
The Knights Templar, weren't they around after Stonehenge? Because Stonehenge possibly dates back to like 3000 BC, right?
Yeah, but what if
2000, 3000 BC? That was pre.
But what if there was, before they were identified as the Knights Templar,
like
to be like the protectors eventually after Christ died, to protect the Holy Grail, which I believe is the Holy Bloodline. So, but
I don't think the Knights.
But I'm saying, what if they were like a society prior to that, and were in the makings of, they weren't just all of a sudden these guys, hey, protect Jesus and his bloodline now. Like I'm saying, what if they were prior to that? When if God came down, spoke to them, and that was what they were supposed to do? I
guess. I don't know. I don't think there's any evidence so that we're stretching fancy. I think that's in the category of Merlin building the Stonehenge.
I've talked to Masons before, and I won't give any names.
But
there are
Antifa?
There are like pagan rituals. Like when I talk about pagan rituals, I'm talking about thousands of years ago, where you do hear about there were people that did give themselves up, to die and stuff like that. So, but Freemasons did the same thing. So, what if they're from the same line?
Sure. Yeah, and Merlin built it too. I don't know. We're just doing what ifs.
Well,
We're
somebody
doing fun
call
what
in
ifs.
because I want somebody like, because when I usually talk to people about this, like I have some clients that are really into all this stuff. Like we are just like, yeah, we're just like going, with you, it's like,
I'll go down the.
you shut it down. You're
No.
like, well, no, that the timeline doesn't add up
Well, I'm
because
sorry.
Jesus didn't come till this time. And
Sorry.
well, you
Sorry
don't
to
think
pour
that there was
wet
these
blanket
societies
on.
before, like Jesus, like hey, I'm all about my Savior and all that, but like
You did that pesky
there was a lot of
timeline
stuff
shit.
going on prior to that.
You and your
Including
pesky
Moses.
little timeline fucking bullshit.
Anyways.
Time is a construct, asshole.
So out of all of the groups we talked about, then who do you think? Do you think it was primitive, like Brits?
Probably.
I don't believe that. Because I feel
But
like...
why not?
Because I feel like...
Why couldn't they lift a bunch of fucking heavy rocks? I mean, it's
Because
impressive for their time, but it's not...
I just, when I think of it, I just picture Bam Bam with, like, that bat
They weren't at
thing,
that
like,
level. They weren't at Bam Bam.
Ooga booga.
They weren't at Bam Bam level. Do
you think they said ooga booga?
No, I don't think
Did they have British accents, you think?
Yes, they had fully fledged...
How do you say ooga booga with the British
all-
accent? Can you try it?
I could try it, but then I'm going to offend a lot of Brits, I guess.
But you're British. It's okay.
I'm not British. I'm proud to be an American, not really right now.
He comes from British descent.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but it doesn't mean I could do it. I mean, my mom was from the middle of California, nowhere. My dad was from Indiana. I don't think I could have picked up a British accent from that. Anyways.
626-733-8256.
Yeah, call 626-733-8256 to let us know if you think that time is a construct. So anyways, do you think that the Stonehenge has mystical powers? Do you think it holds a certain... There's people who go report a certain energy, but I don't know if that's the mind kind of levying up the historical...
Well, I think there's two things. I think it could be a presence from all the people that were buried under there. There's all these relics and bones of people. So if they're still roaming and if they're maybe haunting the area, and so that I feel like that could be a theory of haunting and people like having this aura and thinking maybe it's more mystical. But then on the flip side, I feel like maybe it's both because they were doing these ancient rituals. Pagans and whatnot and what have you. So I think there could be a combination of both.
Okay. Do you think so? Where do you think all the Caspers go? Do you think that
The fucking Caspers.
In your head, so when someone dies, right? They kick it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that most ghosts end up where they either tragically die or whatever, or do you think they go back to their greatest memories? Like, where do you think that ghosts...
I think it depends on the way that they died. Because I feel like that, in general, not just at Stonehenge, I feel like if you are brutally massacred,
Whoa.
it's in a sense of you...
Sounds like wishful thinking on your part.
Your reality is not understanding why you died and how you died. And there's some reservations on if you even are dead. And I feel like gaining that...
hey, to get to the afterlife, you don't need no reservations.
I feel like you have to have the acceptance of realizing you're dead, and you have to kind of like have that, let go of the unfinished business, and then you're done. Because I mean, like,
you're done
I feel
as
like
a ghost?
me, like I would definitely, if I was like brutally murdered, which is even like horrible to think about, but I feel like if I was like, I would want vengeance. I would want to haunt that person that hurt me. I wouldn't be ready.
And that gets us to maybe another episode 40. Do serial killers, I mean, they're not the best test subject for empathy or remorse, but do you think that they
Are haunted.
are haunted, or do you think they're not?
Some of them. I bet you it's like a 50-50.
You gotta look it up. Or I mean, I'm sure there's some listeners.
Like this, like okay, in a situation like, say some dickwad, male or female, because I'm not saying like it's just men.
Dickwads can be female.
Yeah.
Dickwads can be female.
So if whatever
Everybody knows I'm a
asshole
vagina, so.
decided to, this is true, like horribly murdered their partner in their house or in their apartment, and that person decided to still live there that didn't get caught for whatever fucking reason, you better believe if I was the person that got killed, I'll fucking haunt your ass. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to make your life living hell, especially if you got away with it.
He got away with it. He would have got away with it if it wasn't for
So like going back to Stonehenge, I really would like you guys.
Who are you to bring it back to this subject? Who the fuck cares?
I really, truly, madly, deeply like the song
Savage Garden.
I really would like you guys
kids.
to call in right now, because this is my dream theory of Stonehenge, and this is what I breathe and hope and pray is real. And I believe
In what?
I believe this is my theory, and I can believe my theory.
Sure.
I believe that Stonehenge was used as a time traveling portal.
There we go.
Woo!
Throw the notes away, because we are in Fantasyland, everybody. Welcome to Fantasyland. Jesus Christ.
Oh, somebody
How
call.
did we get
Somebody call right now. Oh my God.
40 minutes in and we got there. We got to the fact that you think that
Please,
Stonehenge
somebody call.
is a goddamn time traveling portal. This is
I think, okay, you guys, maybe some of you,
bury the goddamn
some
lead.
of you might think that I'm crazy. But here's
What's your suspicion? Why?
Here's my suspicion.
Is it just the Outlander show?
Shut up. So, but I'll
That's
get
it. That's
no.
it. You just
The fact that maybe you guys didn't know this, but also in Scotland, which obviously isn't that far away from England, there is a Stonehenge. And that one, because it's not as popular, it's not as a touristy trap as Stonehenge in England.
It's
So
like the hipsters Stonehenge.
they still do a lot of like spiritual things there. People still come, but it's more private, and a lot of people don't know about it. So they actually say that one you do feel more presence, and it is more mystical because it's more left alone. There's not a lot of people coming in and out. And they also say that there is possibly one in America, which I would totally believe because
I went to
the natives.
Woodhenge in Ohio. It was originally
Are you being serious?
I'm being dead serious.
I never know these days.
There is a place in Cahokia, Woodhenge, yep, in Illinois. I went to that, and it was originally a crazy like mound and stuff like that. This is what they thought it looked like. So it was essentially there was a Stonehenge, because one of the traditional theories of Stonehenge is that it was essentially a big old giant obnoxious calendar, essentially, because it would mark the sun's the way they hit the sun. They could tell days. So in North America, they actually have something similar to this, a Woodhenge with essentially poles and stuff like that, and they had pyramids. There's North American pyramids.
And what are the
what is they mysteriously disappeared.
What is the time like difference
It's
between
12:02 a.m. right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Was this also 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, or was this?
Let me look it up.
Oh God. See, I took my job seriously, and I made my notes.
Hey, I
like
didn't know
4
I was
days
going to
ago.
bring up the American Woodhenge. Who knows about the? It was constructed between 900 and 1100 Common Era, which is AD, which is scientific.
Okay.
What they now call AD.
Good boy.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. With each one being larger and having more posts than its predecessor.
Well, if
the
you've
site
gone,
was discovered as part of salvage.
Stop. If you guys have been to Italy.
Hey, has anybody been to Stonehenge? That's what I want to know.
No. What I'm saying is, like, you brought up a point, like, the fact that, like, they could have used it as some kind of, like, calendar, the way that the sun hits, and then also the way that the stars aligned in the sky with the placement of it, also reminded me of when we had gone to Italy way before kids, lots of years ago. But it's really sad. A lot of the Roman churches, the Catholic churches, prior to that were pagan temples, and the Catholics basically came in, wiped them out, and then took over. But they left the
Christianity
monuments.
took a lot from pagan.
But the cool thing that they left,
stuff,
which I
like
thought
Christmas.
was pretty awesome, the way that the pagans like did their alignment, they still inside the temple, one of the temples I remember we went and visited, maybe more than one, they had like holes in the wall, so at a certain time of the year the sun would hit right there. And I don't know if that was like the summer solstice, but they did have like areas that like holes in the wall. And when we did in the tour, I wouldn't even have noticed it if they wouldn't have told me. But I thought that was really fascinating. Do you remember that?
I think no.
Oh God.
Sounds lovely though.
Look it up.
Yeah, look it up. I will. I think that there was a lot of that stuff. Like if you look at like one of the early kind of signs of technology was them being able to kind of chart the seasons and stuff like that. And the best way to chart the seasons, if you don't have advanced technology, is through the sun. And a great way to do that is through a circular, like Stonehenge.
Right.
Like Woodhenge.
Well,
the
Mayans had their own type of way of doing that as well.
So that was a marker. So that's not that surprising that you find it throughout the world, in various ways. Yeah. 626 733. I feel like I'm doing like lottery numbers. Like if you have a lottery ticket. 626-733-8256.
Maybe we'll give somebody a treat if they call in.
Oh, like chocolate mushrooms?
Oh, sounds so good.
You'll hate it. You would not do well on mushrooms, I don't think.
I would cry in a corner. I'd be probably in the fetal position.
Had a lot of fun experiences on mushrooms. One time I did see I thought I saw an axe murder. But anyways.
But you see that not when you're on drugs.
I see that in my sleep. So.
Yeah. Or like when you're in a twilight zone, when you're half awake and half sleeping.
Twilight zone.
It's like that twilight of being half awake and half asleep. When you're sleepwalking. Yeah. You see all that shit all the time.
Another great idea for a show, just the title, The In-Between. Is that, I don't know, whatever, who cares?
The space between.
That's it. Isn't that a Dave Matthews song?
No, that's a Descendants song. Disney's Descendants.
Disney's Descendants. Don't forget the Disney marker.
No, let's not get confused.
Can we talk about how much Disney owns? Fucking Stonehenge. Who cares? Disney.
Madalise might call if we start talking Disney.
running through like Disney Plus, like when you go in the catalog, it is fucking insane.
Yeah.
Like you see the full spectrum of how much they fucking own. Because like, I saw The Greatest Showman and Peanuts, and like, obviously the Marvel stuff is there and all that stuff. But it's like the wide breadth of the Wild of what they own is just, it's insane. Like you really see it now. Like you see the full spectrum of it. So it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I can talk Disney all day, but that's not why we're here.
Yeah.
You want a Disney podcast? We can make one.
We should have
I want to talk conspiracy theories, and I want someone to call in so we can like bust your bubble.
Why? You don't have to bust my bubble. How are you gonna bust my bubble?
Anyways, I just feel like because I'm more open. You call it gullible. I call it.
I don't call it gullible. I call it fun. I wish I could just be willy-nilly with facts. Just floating stuff out there. No, it's fine. It's all fine. It's all good. What was I going to say? Tell me what I was going to... Someone tell me.
The number.
Someone tell me what I was going to say.
You're going to say the number.
I threw it away again.
Call us right now.
So, for some context, she got a call last time recorded, and it was also at an obnoxious hour. And so now she's obsessed with getting calls because she loves it. She just loves people.
It was
beautiful voices.
Plus, it was like so great because we've been, in quarantine and everything, and then just to talk to a friend that you haven't talked to like in ever, like that was really cool.
And if we
shout out to Marcus if you're listening.
And if you call in, you are considered a friend unless you're a dick. Then you're not a friend.
I mean, you could be a dick too. I don't care.
Well,
I don't, because to me, like,
I'm
people
kind
are
of a
gonna
dick,
agree.
but
They're
not.
not gonna agree. Everybody has their own opinion.
That's the
I could
thing.
give two fucks.
Hey.
But I like to hear opinions.
No, you don't.
As long as you're not an asshole about it.
We need to.
So let's. Okay.
Okay.
If my theory, one of my theories is right. So let's just hypothetically say that Stonehenge, and also the one in all the other ones that we know about, in Scotland and possibly in the Americas, let's say that those were used for time travel. Now, like, were you a chosen person to be able to time travel? Because I start looking way too in this stuff, and I'm like, well, what if some of those bodies that were buried underneath there that they found, maybe they weren't the chosen ones, and when they went to touch the stones to time travel, it killed them instead because whatever connection that they had, it couldn't teleport them.
Is there a criteria for the chosen one? What is this, like Aladdin?
Maybe a bloodline.
Speaking of Disney, is it? Oh, it's a bloodline. Oh.
Like the Masons.
Man, this fucking Stonehenge is racist then.
Why?
Because it's only choosing certain bloodlines.
Well,
Fuck
so do
that.
the Masons.
Yeah, fucking
And
Masons have a racist streak to them too.
So do the Knights Templar.
Well, they had a racist streak to them too. We were all racist, including
But-
this damn Stonehenge for burying people if you don't
So
have a right bloodline.
I wonder if
Elitist ass Stonehenge.
if that's
Yeah, fuck that place now.
a possibility.
I wanted to go.
Anybody?
I wonder why I didn't drive an hour to get to fucking Stonehenge. Murdering people. What?
Or like in your mind, like, okay, so say you time traveled and you went to whatever year, like 500 years
2020,
before or
my
500
favorite year. This
years
is my
in the
favorite
future.
year.
Like, if you wanted to go back, would you be able to go back to the exact same year? Like it's
How
just
are these
wild.
people coming back? What if they want to come anytime? Like, so let's call it the tourist era. Like, if they wanted to come, like, anytime between, like, whenever tourists started showing up and when and now, like, how would they get away with, like, traveling? How would they time travel without being, like, showing up, like, half-ass naked in their time travel? Do they have to wear a special suit to time travel? No. Any clothes welcome. But how would they not just, like, pop up when, like, someone's taking a fucking tourist picture?
That's a possibility.
So they can only go so by your logic, they can only go
No.
tourist
I didn't
era?
say that.
Okay, then how is there certain hours where you time travel? Like,
No.
you show up at 3 a.m. when hopefully everybody's not there?
I don't know. I mean, there's always been things that weird vibrations, weird things happen there. And again, like government cover-ups, like it's possibility that,
But a tourist would see it and take a picture. They'd be like, look at that shit. Oh my God, that person just appeared out of nowhere and they were dressed as a Flintstone. Like, what if... I don't know. I don't know. I wish. I hope it's a time traveling machine. Because that would be the best. That'd be simply the best. Better than all the rest. Better than everyone. It's the only part of the lyrics I know. Yeah, I don't know. I wish. Do you think... I want to talk to... Maybe if you're listening to this episode, you're like, fuck. Like, you guys randomly record at random hours, randomly. Randomly.
Here, hold this.
Hold.
Okay.
Would you? So if I asked you to bury me at Stonehenge, would you bury me at Stonehenge? Would you, like, trek all the way out there?
If it was legal, I would, but I doubt. I could get you cremated, and I think you have to now, because I really looked into Stonehenge. I think you have to make appointments because I think idiots were coming and tagging on it. So I think now, like, there's only certain times where you can actually go in and touch the stones, also for safety reasons. So if there was a way that I could get you cremated and sprinkle you around.
What if I wanted to be cremated and I wanted my ashes to be spread in 10 regional Shakey's restaurants? Would you do that for me?
I would probably do it in the men's bathroom.
That's appropriate. That's where I belong. I belong in the bathroom of a Shakey's, a men's bathroom with a Shakey's. That's a fitting end for me. That's probably where I'll die.
The bitter end.
Well, yeah. Tasty end. I'll tell you that much. Of course, what happens in the bathroom is not the tasty end of Shakey's or Shakespeare.
Why are you going over my notes? Take your own notes.
Because I
did my research and I studied.
Ooh, this is a nasty episode. You nasty.
So to the conclusion.
I like how you're on one live. We're shooting on two different lives. On one live, it's a meta thing.
That one's just me, because I don't know where the hell
nobody wants to see this.
Because we also have the camera over there for you.
We got a camera. We're like sophisticated almost.
Not really. This is no, but sure.
What are you talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. It's not a Hollywood set.
Could we conclude our book report?
Sure.
So, in the conclusion, who out of the people that I mentioned do you truly believe?
You already asked me that, though.
No, but I want to, like, you really feel that...
Merlin.
No, you really feel that it was, like, the primitive...
Yeah, probably.
Brits.
Probably. Because it's like, it's
I think the Druids. I think the Druids 100%.
But weren't those the primitive Brits? That was just the name of their priest from their religion.
No, because there was the first were the primitive Brits, and then after that, like Europe, like people came in, taking over on and off.
It was pagan, yeah.
Then it was the pagans. Then it was the Druids.
Oh, you're talking about like caveman. I think it was probably built around 2000 BC by the Druids, right?
Yeah.
That's probably it.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But they were British.
The fact, yes, they were British, and then they were slayed.
Oh, I didn't know you were designated
and then they were
caveman
slayed
versus...
by my people. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Not right.
Who cares?
Anyways, but like
still holding on to it too.
I truly feel like it was them.
We won 3,000 years ago.
It's a bloodline thing. It's in the blood. It's in the blood.
Our last victory was 3,000 years ago. We had Mussolini after that, but let's not talk about that.
If you're Italian, Brianna, I see you.
You know Antifa?
I see you.
Speaking of Antifa, that was
if you're Italian, you understand.
Antifa was actually a response to Mussolini. It's Antifa, because Antifa stands for anti-fascism. That was a response to Mussolini. Oh.
Fun fact.
Fun fact, everybody.
We got fun facts tonight. Thanks. Yeah. But the reason why I feel that it had to have been the Druids was because to this day, they are still doing rituals there. And I think that is so beautiful. And I think that gives a lot of potential, and that says a lot that it was...
Stonehenge has a lot of potential. I mean, if it just got a little lift and it really kind of focused in on fashion and how to brand itself, I think it'd be great. A lot of potential.
It doesn't need to. You're so dumb.
Do you think I think Stonehenge has lost its... I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I think Stonehenge has lost its luster a little bit.
So you're saying...
I don't think people talk about Stonehenge.
So someone
it's
needs
like
to time travel and needs to come at 3 p.m. when people are there taking pictures.
The publicity. Oh, Stonehenge would be on the top of the map.
But see, the problem with that is
we fake
it's
this?
going to be cover-ups. It's going to be all cover-ups.
No, we need to fake this. There's not going to be no covers up.
You're going to get a video of me popping out from behind it, and I'll wear an outfit from the 1400s.
What's the Flintstone wife? Ages? Debbie Flintstone, whatever the fuck her name is. So stupid. Just like Party City Halloween costume. You just say ooga booga and run away. I think we can do this.
Please say ooga booga with a British accent.
I can't. Ooga.
Ooga booga, mate.
Ooga booga, mate. Oi. Oh, no, I gotta get him that character. Oi. Ooga booga, oi. I can't do it. It's offensive to everybody. Whenever I do accents universally, it's offensive.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyways. So, yeah, I don't know. I think we really need to get a Stonehenge, like a publicist. Let's get it back on the map. Because I don't think it's as...
It's been on my bucket list and map for a very long time.
I think it's been on both of ours, but I think because we're of a certain generation. Kids, call in. See if you... Let us know if you're actually interested in Stonehenge.
I feel like...
I think for pagans...
I feel like I like Stonehenge more than you.
Probably.
And, now,
Because you think it's like
this
all
is
this.
How, well, no, this is how popular it is. It's like it's
I think
like
it's popular,
it's over
for
like
sure.
$100 to get a ticket and get there.
No.
And yes, look it up.
What?
I've looked it up.
Hold on,
I know this stuff because I've been wanting to fucking go. So it's a whole day.
$100 with parking or no parking?
I think it's included because you're
parking
paying basically for the driver to pick you up.
You're paying for basically it's like just like an expensive Uber ride is what you're talking about with $100.
It's probably more like a bus. Like you're gonna be like shuttled there.
More like a bus.
Anyways, but I think that it is, and I mean they're making a killing off of it because think about how many people, especially like people passing through, they're always gonna go to London because it's amazing. So to get to Stonehenge, there's nothing really other there that you would want to see.
Don't say that.
Besides,
probably lovely country houses and stuff like that.
Yeah, lovely.
Sure. I don't know. Where is Stonehenge? Where is Stonehenge?
It's the west side. It's like the west, I believe, western part of England.
Stonehenge is in Yorba Linda. Stonehenge Photo Works. Oh, we're not that far away right now. Okay, let's go.
I wish.
Okay.
I would love to go at like 2 a.m.
Can we go to Stonehenge Homeowners Association like tourists, and just come with like Stonehenge shirts and stuff? It's probably my dumbest idea. Sorry.
Yep. I don't even know.
Can we go to Stonehenge Retirement Planners LLC in Santa Monica?
Why?
I do like how they're retirement planners. Like basically, you're close to the grave. I do like that. Can we go to Bakersfield? I'm just looking at a map at this point. Okay. Well, I think this has been an episode of ExtraNormal Podcast. I want you guys. This is an effort to get you guys. Please subscribe on whatever your favorite podcast machines are. Please give reviews. You could also. We set up a Patreon page. So if you want to help support us, help us like avoid like second, third jobs and help this be our part of our paying the bills and keeping the lights on, that'd be beautiful. You can support us at patreon.com/ExtraNormal Podcast to help us out, donate. We're going to start recording bonus stuff, all kinds of things.
Also, if you have a brand that you want us to promote,
yeah,
we can.
And if you're a friend of the podcast, like we'll take care of our people. So, for sure, yeah. So definitely, and if you want to email us, you can email us at extranormalpodcast@gmail.com. You could always follow us at ExtraNormal Podcast on Instagram, ExtraNormalP on Twitter. You can find Brianna all over the place. So
hey.
So Brianna.
What is that supposed to be?
And then next time, if you want to leave a message, and you're a pagan, you're a witch, you're one of the stones in Stonehenge, and you want to leave a message, you can give us a ring. 626-733-8256. 626-733-8256. Leave a message. Let us know your thoughts and how we're wrong or how we're right, and on all that fun. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that. Well. This has been ExtraNormal Podcast, and I say, always be friends of large rocks.